There's renewed debate this morning about the health effects of sugar on millions of Americans. This after a controversial New York Times Sunday magazine cover story. The proposed sugar is in fact toxic. It even suggested sugar is as dangerous as cigarettes and alcohol. CBS News medical correspondent Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here with more. Has a lot of people talking.
Yep.
What specifically, though, is they're looking at this? How much sugar is bad for us, and does it matter where it comes from, in which form?
Well, that's really the question, and how much are we actually getting? So let's start with what the recommended daily allowance of sugar is. For an average person, it's about 6 to 9 teaspoons of sugar a day. How much are we getting? Over twice that amount, and the estimates now are that the average American is consuming about 90 pounds of sugar a year, Erica, and it comes in all forms. So the high fructose corn syrup, sucrose, fructose, all of those forms, the potential theory is that it does the same damage to the cells of our body.
So it doesn't really matter which one. So it's obvious the weight, the obesity
Right.
concerns in this country, and I know you've done a lot of obesity research and surgery, but the article says that's not really the only risk in their opinion.
Exactly. It may, in fact, be the tip of the iceberg. Let me explain to you what happens to our bodies internally when we consume anything with sugar in it. Immediately, it stimulates our pancreas to release insulin. It also stimulates the liver, and we know that a lot of sugar that's not burned immediately as fuel gets turned into fat. What happens is, over an amount of time and years, and we don't know how much sugar and how much time, the pancreas can get worn out. It can lead to diabetes. There's also, though, new research that suggests that insulin really works as a growth factor to trigger and stimulate and feed and nourish tumor cells, and therefore implicated in cancer.
So that is very scary to even hear of that link.
Correct.
What are some ways that we can then reduce our sugar intake?
Well, I think when you're talking about reducing it, you're talking really about retraining the American taste bud. And it's really everything from when you're baking, you want to use half the amount of sugar if possible. You want to substitute with things like fresh fruit or enhance it with things like spices. And again, this is a gradual process. You have to start early.
Have to start early. Should we be using artificial sweeteners instead of sugar?
If you ask me, in my house, the answer is no. But anything that, from when you're talking about children to adults, you want to really shift away from needing all of that sugar every day. We have to say also the Sugar Association says the verdict is not in. There still needs to be a lot more research because it's absolutely not conclusive that sugar is all bad.
All right, Jen Ashton, thanks for coming in this morning.